Okay, so we have reached now Surat Al-Waqi'ah, and the Waqi'ah is one of the names of the Day of Judgment. And this surah is one of the first surah. We have been kind of starting from the back of the Quran, as we said, because the shorter surah, or the last juz', is the one that is focused on Tawheed, and that was revealed first or earlier to the Muslims. So we've done all of that, and there is a lot of emphasis on the Day of Judgment. And this continues, but here the surah is discussing groups of people that were not discussed earlier, like based on the three groups of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designated. And those three groups are as-sabiqun, who are the people who came early, that is, even before at the time of Islam, and some say even before Islam, because there were so many much more prophets. But and then the groups who are of the right, on the right, so the righteous, and the group who are on the left, who are people who are going to the fire of hell. So the أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة السابقون أصحاب اليمين أصحاب الشمال, these are all the terms that refer to the people and the groups. So there's a description about this in the surah. And then there's also much more detailed, this is probably the most detailed description of the Jannah for those people according to their grade, whether they are from the earlier people or from the people of the Yamin or the people of the Jannah, and then the people who are of the fire of hell. And then the surah kind of continues on the time of death and the description of what happens. We probably will not finish this in surah in one session. So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا وقعت الواقعة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when the inevitable event takes place. The waqi'ah is the event, but it refers to the Day of Judgment. ليس لوقعتها كاذبة, that there is no denial or there is no untruthfulness about this, that it is going to happen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing that that there is no one will be able to deny, like people are now denying and lying about it. No one can deny it when it happens. So that's why it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, لَيْسَ لِوَقَعَتِهَا كَاذِبًا. There is no denial. There is no lying about it. You will see it firsthand. خَافِضَةٌ رَافِعَةٌ. That means that day, or that Day of Judgment, will elevate people to the Jannah and will kind of debase people or put them down in the fire of hell. And so what will happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing إِذَا رُجَّتِ الْأَرْضُ رَجَّةً. So there is amazing, great earthquake for all of earth that breaks everything and destroys everything that is on the earth. وَبُسَّتِ الْجِبَالُ بَسًّا. And all of the mountains become like nothing, like little pieces, meshes, or like flour or dust. All of these are descriptions of the word bassa, that means crushed, becomes pieces. Look, these big mountains become nothing. فَكَانَتْ هَبَاءً مُنْبَثًّا. So it becomes like dust. And that is really the flattening of the earth is going to happen. And that is described in many verses in the Quran in preparation for the Judgment Day. وَكُنْتُمْ أَزْوَاجًا ثَلَاثًا. And then you will be on three groups, three groups of people on that day. فَأَصْحَابُ الْمَيْمَنَةِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْمَيْمَنَةِ. Then there are those who are of the right, those are the blessed, and those are the people who are of the heaven. وَأَصْحَابُ الْمَشْأَمَةِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْمَشْأَمَةِ. So those who are on the left, or those who are the miserable, the mash'ama means the miserable, or the people who are, um, you know, cursed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ma ashabul mash'ama, and you don't know, like, what will they be? Like, it's a word that uses that is used in Arabic. Ma ashab. So do you know who are they? والسابقون السابقون. And this is the group that is the elite, the special in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those are the foremost in faith and the foremost in paradise. And those are the people who are before us. So um, there was a discussion once with some other Muslims, and they had misunderstood some of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ about saying to his followers that you are my companions, but the people who come after me are my brothers. So that those Muslims thought that we, as the people who did not witness the Prophet ﷺ, were better because we were brothers. And because and then the verse here actually undermines that interpretation. And it's very obvious. I mean, we cannot compare to what the companions did and their personality and their character and their, akhlaq or their morals. We never come close to them. So it's very obvious. But here the verse is saying, وَالسَّابِقُونَ السَّابِقُونَ, those people who were before you. They are of the highest. Why? Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أُولَٰئِكَ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ. Those are the nearest, the people who were before. فِي جَنَّاتِ النَّعِيمِ, in the gardens, they are blessed with and enjoying and all of the heaven that provides them in a special status, mind you. They are in a special status in heaven, above or higher than those who are in the Yameen, because even in the heaven there are several stages. The highest stage is the stage of the Prophet ﷺ and the martyrs and those who are as-siddiqeen, those who are the highest level. And then there are lower and lower and lower, but they're all in the Jannah. ثُلَّةٌ مِّنَ الْأَوَّلِينَ وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنَ الْآخِرِينَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing those that there are more of them from the previous generation and few of them from the next generation. So that doesn't mean that we in this time, because we are not from the people before that, we are deprived of that. No, that means there will be, but they will be less and less and less, subhanAllah. So that means the people who are going to be categorized as in that category are going to be less with time. And there will be maybe generations after us that will look to us as the people who are of the awwaleen or sabiqeen. And that could be, inshallah, for those few who are able to stay on the right path despite all of what's going wrong in the world today. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described ala sururin mawduna. They are on places of like bed sets or comfortable couches that are all covered with jewels and gold. متكئين عليها متقابلين, that they are reclining facing each other. It's a beautiful description of what is the social life like, where people are there on these beautiful settings and couches and looking to each other and enjoying the heaven. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among them. يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون, that they will be waited, or they will be served by young youth who are always young. They are neither gonna old or change. So they are there to serve those in the heaven. And serve them what? بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين. That they will bring them with these pitchers without the handles and with drink of pure wine from a flowing stream. وكأس من معين لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون. And there's one important aspect is that this wine will not make them intoxicated, will not make them have the headache. And it is mentioned by the Sahaba at that time, of course, because initially they were allowed to drink the wine and the alcohol, and then it was banned. So they know what it means to have that. They have headaches. They kind of get intoxicated. They don't know what they do. They vomit. And they kind of urinate a lot. That's again the description from what the people then was mentioning, and they said that in the heaven all that is not there, and it is from a flowing fountain that is people enjoy the taste without the side effects. وَفَاكِهَةٍ مِمَّا يَتَخَيَّرُونَ, and all of the kind of the fruits that they choose, anything you could imagine. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet ﷺ said, there's nothing you could imagine of the fruits of the heaven. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes them, describes the pomegranate, describes the bananas, describe all of these, but it's just because we know them, so we know what it is, but it is way beyond what we have here. وَلَحْمِ طَيْرٍ مِمَّا يَشْتَهُونَ, and all kind of bird meat that they would like. And it says, again, in the tafsir, that on the heaven, the people in the heaven, they look at a bird flying, and just by their wishing, and they like it, it kind of immediately becomes cooked in the way they want in front of them, just by their interest in it, just by wishing it. So this is how the heaven is for people, just to enjoy whatever they like and they want. And the Mufassirin said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the fruits before the meat, because they are not eating there because they're hungry, because they don't get hungry. They're just eating it for enjoyment. And therefore, when somebody is not hungry, they will prefer to eat fruits. And there's also meat. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then describes the hur and ain, which are the maidens, and how they are, the description of how gorgeous they are, and the كَأَمْثَالِ اللُّؤْلِ الْمَكْنُونِ, like the pearl that is not touched by a human. When you open the shell and you see the pearl, and it's beautiful, not touched by any human hand. That is the description, the pristine. And جزاء بما كانوا يعملون. All of this is for what they have been doing in the dunya. And there's one description, interesting thing, that all the women in the earth, or in the heaven, sorry, they will all go back to the age of 33, just like the men. So all of the people in the heaven, their age will be 33, no matter how old they were when they died or whatever. Everyone will be very beautiful. No matter how they looked, they will be beautified or beautiful in the heaven. And a story, an interesting story, is that an old woman, came to the Prophet ﷺ and told him, "O Prophet, pray for me that I enter to the heaven." So the Prophet ﷺ, he had a sense of humor, and he told her, "No old woman will enter into the heaven." And she left crying, and they went after her. I said, no, no, you didn't understand with the Prophet ﷺ. You will not be there old. You will go as a young woman there. So it's kind of an understanding that this is how all of those people in the heaven will be. لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما, that there is nothing of the things that we have in the dunya of, um, backbiting or arguments, and everybody is really have the good intentions in their heart towards each other. إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما, and all of it is virtuous speech and greeting each other. That all you hear is people greeting each other. So this was all about the description of the people of the Sabiqun, which is the highest. وَأَصْحَابُ الْيَمِينَ وَأَصْحَابُ الْيَمِينَ, and those who are the blessed, and who will they be? فِي سِدْرٍ مَخْضُودٍ, they will be among the lot tree. A sidr is a lot tree. It is very well known in the Mediterranean area, and it has a very tasty fruit. Makhdud, that is, it usually has a thorn. So to get the fruit, you get affected by the thorn, and this will be thornless there. وطلح منضود, and clusters of bananas. وظل ممدود, and extended shade. وماء مسكوب, and flowing water. وفاكهة كثيرة, and all kind of abundant fruit. So you see here there are abundant fruit, but there, whatever they wish, whatever وفاكهة مما يشتهون, whatever their desire for a fruit, it will be there for them. So there is a slight differentiation. لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة, that is not out of season, or it will end, or it will finish, and nothing is forbidden. وفرش مرفوعة, and over there described of these gold and jewelry, thrones or beds, but here it's saying furnishing that is elevated, high. So it is said that the couches or the beds raise the people when they are on it, and then when they want to step down, it goes down, and they kind of step down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then describes again the woman, إِنَّا أَنشَأْنَاهُنَّ إِنشَاءً, indeed we have perfected creating their mates, that the women فَجَعَلْنَاهُنَّ أَبْكَارًا. So all the women of the heaven, the Muslims and the believers who will be there, they will be turned back as young and as virgins. عُرَبًا أَتْرَابًا, all of them of equal age and loving to their husbands. لأصحاب اليمين, for the people on the right or of the right. ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين. So you see the difference there in the سابقون, that group, it says ثلة من الأولين وقليل من الآخرين, of those who have the highest status, the elite. But here it says there are a group or a multitude from the earlier and a multitude from the later generation. So that doesn't mean the heaven is, only for the people of the sabiqun or the highest status. No, it is for the people who come after as well. But, and there will be a multitude. وَأَصْحَابُ الشِّمَالِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الشِّمَالِ, and now turning to the people who are the miserable, the people who are on the left, or the people of the left. فِي سَمُومٍ وَحَمِيمٍ, they will be in scorching heat and boiling water, and the heat is their life. It's, so people think the fire of hell is just something you kind of experience it, or it's a life. They that's their life. They eat, they drink, they live. That's their life. So في سموم وحميم, scorching heat and boiling water. وظل من يحموم, and there is nothing of a shade. All they have is black smoke above them. لا بارد ولا كريم, it's neither cold nor refreshing or tasteful. إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك مترفين. So they were spoiled by the luxury. So one has to be careful. It's not haram to be living in luxury, but those who enjoy this luxury in life and not think of the day of judgment and think this life is their aim, so they have to live luxurious in the best and the most, and just enjoy life without remembering the day of judgment and preparing for it, that is the people who are going to be in that category. وكانوا يصرون على الحنث العظيم, and then they used to insist and persist on the sin, despite all advice, despite all of the prophets, despite all of they continue to do the sin and insist. And what do they say? وكانوا يقولون إذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أئنا لمبعوثون. And they mock or sarcastically say, so are we gonna die and then become dust and bones and then we will be resurrected? That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminding them that this is what you used to do, to say, and then this is what's going to be their outcome. أو آباؤنا الأولون, and even our forefathers are going to be resurrected. So that's the questioning that they had, and still people today have that same argument and discussion. قل إن الأولين والآخرين, say, O Prophet, that the earlier and the later generation, لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم, that they will be all gathered for that appointed day. That this is the answer. ثم إنكم أيها الضالون المكذبون. And then you, the misguided deniers, لا يأكلون من شجر من زقوم, that you will eat of the fruits of the trees because they become hungry. There's no food except that ugly looking tree that is in the hellfire. And the fruits of it, they eat it and it burns their inside. They become very thirsty. فَمَالُونَ مِنْهَا الْبُطُونَ, so they eat and fill it. فَشَارِبُونَ عَلَيْهِ مِنَ الْحَمِيمِ, so after they eat, they become very thirsty and there's nothing but the boiling water that they have to drink, which burns them even further. فَشَارِبُونَ شُرْبَ الْهِيمِ, and they keep on drinking like the thirsty camels do. And there's a disease that the camels get, is they just drink and drink and drink and drink non-stop. And that is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing like the description of the him, the camels, the thirsty camels, that they will drink even though it's burning them because of their thirst. هذا نزلهم يوم الدين, and this is their status or accommodation on the day of judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this and make us among those people who are in the heaven.